So, hello, welcome everyone to our live team coaching call, our live global team coaching call, which we do every week. And today, I'm very excited that we've got one of my dear friends, Melanie Levitz from the US of A. You're living in Destin, right?
No, I actually moved down back to South Florida, where I'm originally from. I'm in Boca Raton, Florida, on the East Coast.
Oh, Boca Raton. Okay, that's meant to be really nice there. So that's awesome. Okay, good. And Melanie's actually one of the top leaders in the US. She's actually an NMD, National Marketing Director. We were hanging out in Mexico last year at the IMD trip, the incentive trip, should I say. And, she's a lot of fun. And you know what? I just wanted to bring her on because, you've been with the company for how long now, Melanie?
Actually, just shy a few days of 10 years.
Oh, wow. So you must have joined just like literally, let me just think, it's May, about 4 months after me, right? Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So that's incredible. And so we're going to do an interview style today, right?
Okay. Sounds good.
Because I want people to know your story, okay, your background. So it's not so much a how-to type team coaching. It's more about getting to know you and your journey, if that's cool with you. And also like I saw a picture the other day where when you got your recognition, actually Wayne was in the background in tears, right? So I also want to hear the story of how you made Wayne cry as well. So just tell me obviously what your background is, what you did before World Ventures, and just go for it. The floor is yours.
Yes. Well, first of all, Shish, thank you so much for inviting me to be on your coaching call. I look up to you, I follow you, and I'm extremely excited to share my story with your team and with you. And I hope that, through my story, you can really hear key things that may help you in your business and help you understand that, Shish and I are just humans. We've gone through the struggles just as much as you are, or you will. The road to success is not taken by an elevator. If you ever heard the quote, you have to take the stairs. And sometimes going up the stairs is not an easy journey. But I'll start off with my story. And I'm excited. If you have questions in between, you want to stop me, just let me know. And we'll go through with as an interview style. So again, thanks so much. Like just said, I'm in the U.S. I'm in South Florida. I was originally born in North Miami Beach, Florida. And both my parents were the black sheep of their family. So I quickly learned what not to do growing up. And I decided that after high school, the best opportunity for me would be to join the U.S. Air Force. And little did I know, I was actually in school when I saw this. I was studying to become a foreign language officer so I could retire with 20 years as a higher pay grade, as I was enlisted at the time. So there was going to be a lot of schooling and education involved. And little did I know, one of my officers, who was actually an acquaintance, and I want to go a little deeper in the story because it's really, a small, thin line of thread that we are introduced to such a gift in network marketing. And I was stationed in Korea, and one of my girlfriends had come to visit me in Louisiana to go on our very first women's trip to Hawaii. So I had booked a trip. And we went out one night together in Louisiana, and one of my officer friends that I knew just by seeing out, we weren't really friends or anything like that. He asked to take her on a date, and he by chance picked her up at my townhouse and saw a catalog from another company who made him think that, I was actually building that business and I was just a customer. And it's crazy because I almost didn't want to go to that party of that catalog. So luckily, God always has a plan. And that catalog happened to sit on my kitchen counter. And as he saw it, he thought, what if Melanie, could do this? And at the time, my sponsor, who was a military officer, was on the verge of actually quitting his business side, because what happened with him and being in the military is he would build the team and then deploy, and the team would fall apart because he wasn't actively building through them. So he would come back home, build another team, and then deploy, and this would happen year after year. So he really didn't even think I would do it. And as a sergeant in the Air Force, the benefits are great, but at 28 years young, I'm not proud to say I was living paycheck to paycheck and had my credit card frozen in the freezer so I wouldn't use it. And I literally thank God, again, that I had made one payment on it. So it was just enough to get started with this when I saw it, because once I saw the video, it was a no-brainer. And shush, at the time for me, it wasn't like, oh my gosh, I'm going to make a lot of money here. It was, oh my gosh, I want to save a lot of money. I want to benefit from the trips. And then my very first event, when I got, actually, let me step back a second. I got my 4 in my first month, because when they said you can get your fees waived, that's when I was like, this is a no-brainer. I'm locking in. I grabbed my credit card. And when I was asked by my sponsor how much money I wanted to make on the business side, because it just was like, you're going to give me money to share this with somebody I was going to share anyways. Like, okay, that sounds cool. I never understood network marketing. I never heard of residual income. My mom is from Israel. I grew up, really fast, as I, unfortunately watched her go through a drug addiction and had to help her raise my sister at age 14 when she was born. So I had to grow up really fast, and I started working at a young age. And I never heard the term residual income, but I understood, having your own business and having employees, and, to see my grandparents have their own business was a lot of work. And it was something that, I just assumed the military was the best option for me in life, to travel the world and get an education. And when I said yes to the business, and I said yes to making money in it, it was just to pay off my credit card. I just assumed it would bring in a couple $100. And after going to my first regional event, my sponsor, asked me if I wanted to go. And I'm always that type of person that is willing to learn and experience everything, once, and just, understand what life has to offer. And when I went, I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. This is interesting. But it wasn't until I went to my first national event, and we have those 4 times a year. And they told me in the beginning, they're like, Melanie, if you want to have success with this, all you need to do is show up. And 90% of success comes from showing up. So I already knew, like, I was going to be at all the events, because I like to meet people. I like to learn from people. And my very first event, literally a week out, shush, it was boot camp, millionaire boot camp. And it was in Las Vegas. And as I mentioned, I was in the Air Force Station in Louisiana. My sponsor was going on his very first dream trip to Jamaica. And they called me within a week of the event and said, Melanie, you're coming to, boot camp, right? And I was like, no. My sponsor is going to be on vacation. I don't know anybody. It was only about a month or so after, I got started in June. And they're like, well, Melanie, from what I understood, you told us, and this is why it's super important to know why your friends and your family or your prospects get started, is to know their why. And they remembered that the reason why I wanted to join the business was to meet successful people. And it was to meet them, because I say that because I didn't know that this was the vehicle that could, bring me to financial abundance that I didn't even know was available, right? So I'm just going to go to meet somebody that can introduce me to something, because my mind was on real estate. After 20 years of serving, I'll get into real estate. So that's where I was going. And next thing I know, during recognition, I saw a single mother, because I grew up in a single household, just share how she was able to become successful by, she was in the medical field, and she did this part-time, and she's walking stage for a huge achievement where she was able to retire herself. And one thing that really stuck to me was that she said, you know what, instead of my son, paying for daycare and someone else teaching him, things that we could go now in this company, travel and touch, like the Roman empires or the Leaning Tower of Pisa or the Great Wall of China. Like, when she said that she was going to take her son to go actually see those things, that's when I realized, well, my mom was a single parent, and we, the closest vacation we went to was Disney World, right? Because that's 4-hour drive. So I was like literally in tears, shush. For the first time in my life, I was like, had a awakening. I had, the light shine on me just to say, hey, this is an opportunity that, you can win at a high pace, at a fast rate, and at a high level, and be able to live that same lifestyle. Because I saw it time after time. People would get on stage, no matter what kind of background, we had them all covered. And I was like, okay, this is really cool. And then I started learning facts about, network marketing, producing the most first-time millionaires in the world, or, being able to work anywhere you choose to, as long as you have your mobile device. So I really got smart and just really became a student. And within 3 years, I replaced my entire 12-year Air Force income through this concept. And I would say the first half of that journey, I treated it like a hobby. I was doing it here and there, especially after big events. I would go on a 2-week run, right? They say 90-day run. I went on a 2-week run because I got burnt out. I didn't know how to take breaks and, meditate and pray like I do today, and take care of myself first so that I could provide for others at a higher level. So it's been an amazing journey. By year 4, I became a 6-figure earner, which is crazy. A girl that grew up on food stamps and welfare, I never thought that I would be making 6 figures. And then to learn about investing and to do what to do smart with my money. And I was able to help my mom purchase her dream home, which was really cool. I live on the beach. I'll show you really quickly. This company has afforded me to live literally a walk to the beach.
Wow.
There's the ocean. So yeah, if you follow my Instagram IG story, you can watch me see the sun come up on the ocean every morning. And life's an amazing, journey. I found my purpose through this concept because I didn't know where I was going in life. I didn't know the reason why I was here and what I was supposed to do. But now I understand, because I am so passionate about helping the world understand residual income and how it can benefit them and their family. So I became a trainer like you, Shush, in the company. And then by year 5, I was making multiple 6 figures a year, ended up becoming an international speaker. I've been to Australia, Cyprus, Singapore to teach people like you and your team on how to build this business. And, I get to drive my beautiful Mercedes Benz I absolutely love. And I'll tell you, when I was at the highest peak in this company, I was taking about 37, 36 trips a year. So it's definitely been a blessing. I've been on 47 dream trips, and we're ready to get out. That's for sure. I have a trip, I'm sure like you, planned every month until November this year already. So I'm excited, and it's such a blessing. I honestly, Shush, feel like this is heaven on earth, and we get to share it with everybody else.
Yeah, that's incredible. So let's talk a little bit about, your experience, or your life in the military. Okay. What was that like? Because I mean, obviously, that must have been like pretty tough, right? And what lessons did you take from the military that actually helped you here in this business?
Yeah, so those are some great questions. And I also touch on Wayne's story when he was crying. The military was awesome for me because I was the kid growing up that I didn't know where I wanted to go, except I knew I didn't want to study school. I wasn't ready to stay back in school. So I learned a lot through the military as far as leadership skills, teamwork. Ended up, realizing in the Air Force that I did make the right decision, because in the Air Force, especially as, my job in the military is aviation resource management. So it was a nice office job. I was taking care of the air crew and their requirements to fly. And I got to, see a lot of amazing places because I'm the single, no kids, volunteer, take me to deployment. I want to go anywhere. And in the Air Force, in every branch, they'll say the Air Force is the best lifestyle. And I really got to live that lifestyle, traveling and exploring the world through, the government and, working, just like a normal job practically. There were times where, I would have to have drills and, live the military experience in case emergencies and exercises and all that, which I just, was like, okay, that's what I signed up for, right? That's what I'm here for, to protect and serve our country. And I absolutely loved it. Like I said, I wanted to do 20 years. And, I realized, well, I'm making more money. I'm working way less and I'm having way more fun. So when I ended up replacing my income, I transferred from active duty to the reserves. So I still serve today. I found a position. God always works in mysterious ways, because when I was training in Cyprus, the entire audience, the crowd, they got me so hyped up that why am I still in the military, working every single month in the reserves, when I could provide more time elsewhere and give and help a lot more people. So I decided that I was going to get out, but God ended up finding, a position for me that allows me to work 3 weeks a year when I choose to. So that's been awesome until I, finish my 20 years in a few years. And the lessons are, to understand that whatever we do in the world is, based off of teamwork and leadership. You always be a student first, and the leader shows up and people will start following you. And I'm really grateful for the military and for understanding that, I got structure, I got, built, they break you down and then they built you up. So they definitely provide a lot of leadership. But what I didn't get was culture. Like, only in Korea when I was stationed out there, because everyone's away from their families for a short time, there was a lot of great culture. But once you left the overseas areas, the culture was just as if, again, a regular job. You have a family at home and you have a family at work. But here in World Ventures, it is completely different. As far as the leadership was just on another level. The personal development is beyond amazing. A lot of times we say this is a personal development company disguised as a travel club, right? And that's one thing that I would say the military lacks, because I didn't understand a lot of different characteristics between people. When I when I started attending the events and learning through the trainers, I realized like people are very similar but different. And I got to mold myself and understand how the type of person I am and the reasons why I act out or behave in certain ways. So it's pretty cool to start really understanding other characteristics of people and how they behave as well. As far as any other lessons, I would just say that the military, I truly believe everyone should serve. It brings so many great things to an individual as far as just being a human being. My mother's from Israel, and that's a country that, you're required to serve. Everyone serves at the age of 18. And we can look at them and say, hey, they're pretty much, a great example of how people should be. And I think it starts because they train them at a young age. And I'm so grateful for the military and what it has brought to my life. And as far as going back to when I was actually being recognized for regional marketing director, so it's a first huge achievement that you get to hold the microphone right on stage, Shush. And I didn't realize that when I was sharing my story that it was affecting Wayne so much. And I don't know, I never had the conversation with him on why he started crying. But what really started making me cry was that I saw all of the front row of leaders crying. And I just thought to myself, wow, my story must be very impactful to make all of the leaders cry. And little did I know, after the fact that I got off stage, Wayne was, it was affecting him hard. And it made the entire audience feel that energy from him. And it was just a special moment, something that I'll never forget. Not once did I have any of my, leaders or sergeants in the military, get to that level when, of any achievement that I've ever achieved in the military.
What was that story? What was the story you said? Was it just the story you just shared, or was it different?
Yeah, it's on YouTube if anyone wants to watch it. But it was practically just stating that, I had a rough upbringing. I watched my mom go through a drug addiction and, just sharing my story. That's it, really. And I guess he could have related somehow. But I do remember getting off the stage with him, Shush, afterwards. And, in the back of the stage, it's black and dark and you could barely see anybody. And it was just me and him. And I remember we had to climb down the stairs at that event. And he's like, Melanie, I'm so proud of you and congratulations. And he's like, one day we're going to own sand. And from that moment on, I was like, I'm going to own an island through this company. So yeah, he's just an amazing individual. For anybody that has not yet to meet him, he is just one of those guys that is so giving and such a servant leader of God. He's always, you know, willing to be there and share with you his experience and knowledge that he is honestly, I believe, one of the most intelligent men that I've ever met.
Okay, cool. So obviously that's awesome. So, you know, we have this pandemic. I mean, hopefully very soon we're going to be coming out of this crazy lockdown that we've all been in for, it seems like years, but it's been weeks. So what have you been doing? How's business been for you? How have you been utilizing this time, you know, for building a business, and what kind of things have you been doing?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I've been blessed to be able to understand Zoom and the online live streams that we have available a few years before this pandemic. So I was already ahead of the game. As we were starting, we already did our team calls on here once a month. We put together a Women of Power Blitz. So for 24 hours, once a month, every woman MD and above is doing a presentation. Our next one is June 10th, so mark your calendar. So we already had that. What we did differently is we just amped it up more. We excelled that to another level where we're now doing welcome calls because we have so many people getting started right now. So we'll welcome everybody on a massive Zoom call, birthday surprises, you know, prayer request lines. So everything has been moved to Zoom. And, you know, just as any day I get dressed up, you know, I act as if I'm going somewhere, and I get out of the house and you know, walk my dog, and I'm so blessed to be able to have the beach that I could walk to and see. But other than that, I've been staying home and making more calls than ever before, doing a lot of follow-up calls. Through this journey of 10 years being involved, I've been able to accumulate 2,300 phone numbers in my phone. So I'm literally just going line by line. Hey, how are you doing, you know, during this epidemic? And then of course they're going to ask me, and my line is just simply, hey, I've been more focused and productive than ever before through this pandemic. And if they don't strike up a conversation through that of being interest, then it's just, hey, you know, who do you know that may be in need to make some money? Because now it's been calculated over 30 million US citizens have filed for unemployment. So there are people out there that are jumping on home-based businesses. And there's been documentation that has shown that home-based businesses are on the up and coming rise of businesses. And it's just a matter of people knowing that, hey, we're out there and we're pretty much the best, right? We're the only travel company out there. So nothing different other than just doing everything online, and, you know, building through people, you know, understanding that, hey, we got you started, who can we show to help them as well? Yeah. And, you know, team calls as normal, and doing some more webinars online as far as being available for everybody to just plug into and have their prospects be able to watch.
Yeah. So actually that approach was like, I hope you took a note on that approach. I'm just going to mention it again. So like, when you contact someone, okay, how's the pandemic, right? You know, how's the situation? How's it affected you? They ask you, I'm focused and productive, you know, because obviously so many people are jumping into home-based businesses due to the fact that there's, you know, more than 30 million people have lost their jobs in the US. Like actually, globally, it's probably more like 60 million people, right? And wait for that reaction, right? Just out of interest, would you be open to, you know, looking at what I'm doing to help people make money from home, from their smartphone, right? And if not you, do you know someone, right? Okay, so this is it, guys. I mean, this is like on a day-to-day basis. This is all you got to do, and obviously get them to have a look at a presentation, right? Okay, so let me ask you another question. I mean, once someone's seen a presentation, whether it's a video, whether it's a, you know, whatever, okay, like, what do you do straight after the presentation in terms of like actually getting that person signed up, closed? Just go through that process.
Yeah, for sure. So once I know I have somebody watching the presentation or video, I make calls to get a third party. So somebody that can relate to their background. If they're a teacher, then I would find a teacher on our team or upline to be able to share their story. Then I simply call them and I make sure that they watch the whole video. And then I ask them, you know, hey, Shush, what did you like best about what you saw? And once they answer, I say, awesome, yeah, me too. Hold on 1 second. And that's really key is you tell them what to do. You're never asking them. So I tell them, hold on 1 second. And of course, they're like, okay. And I click over and I bring on that third party validation that's a teacher that can relate and just share their story. And I just let them know, hey, Shush, I'm so glad that you liked, you know, the dream trips and the vacations as I did. I actually brought on a dear friend, Cindy, who's also a teacher, just to share her story and her experience. And I go into the edification on how, you know, amazing she is and what she's been able to accomplish. And then I shut my mouth and I let her share. Even though I may still be the expert over Cindy, it's the validation to show you, Shush, that, hey, this is all we're doing. We're showing a video and getting someone to share their story. Do you like it or not? It's a $25 decision, 2 10s and a 5. And that's it. And once they get started, we're plugging in with the focus board, we're plugging in into the online events, to the national events, and of course going through their contacts.
Perfect. So that was, again, a real key tip there, was actually, you know, not asking the prospect whether you can bring someone in, right? You're just doing it. You're just telling them, right? So this is a real important thing. So you see, if you ask someone, hey, look, you know, I'd like to bring someone on a call, is that okay? What you're doing is you're passing the control over to the other person, right? Rather than you actually just, you know, like controlling the whole situation, right? Actually, I think, is it, yeah, I saw Eamon was on a call. In fact, one time, you know, we did exactly that. You know, he had a really good prospect, and the guy didn't like. He just called me. Actually, back then it was Skype, right? Just did the Skype call, and the guy was like, "Oh, wow," right? And he wasn't expecting me to be on the call, right? Okay. And he actually said to Eamon afterwards, "Oh, if you'd have asked me, I wouldn't have done the call with him, but I'm glad I did, because he ended up joining." Right? Okay. So this is really, really key. So that's awesome. So guys, just definitely put in your love and comments for Melanie. Okay. So the last thing is, you know, before we wrap up, is just to say that on Saturday, right? This Saturday, we have a fast start school at 11, but it will be a short fast start school because there will be the MAC team Super Saturdays happening, right? And the MAC team Super Saturday, right? There will be 16 IMDs, and it
Wow.
will be streamed live on the MAC team YouTube channel. And so hang on a second. Let me just see. Does anybody know what time it starts? UK time? Anybody? If they
Someone
could.
said 12.
Was it 12? Okay, so it's 12 UK time, is it? Oh yeah, 12 p.m. UK time. So so we're gonna do a really short fast start training at 11. Okay, right? Really fast. And I'm actually gonna be. I know exactly what I'm gonna be covering. I'm gonna be covering, you know, actually some tips on the sign up process, right? But let me tell you guys, that training is going to be epic on Saturday, the Mac Team training. So it's actually free to view, right, on the Mac Team channel live, right? Okay, so you just go on the YouTube channel. We'll probably send out links to everyone anyway, right? Okay, but the key thing is be ready, okay? So guys, thank you very much. Melanie, thanks again for being on and sharing your incredible story. I appreciate you. If there's anything I can ever do to help you, let me know. So guys, we'll be back same time, obviously next Thursday, 7 p.m. Not sure who we're going to have, but let's see. Watch this space. And also remember the schedule. We're doing presentations every day, 3 p.m., 8 p.m., Champions League presentation, coffee shops, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Right, tomorrow we have Aline, okay, for doing a coffee shop, hosting the coffee shop. Okay, that's going to be 10:30, and fast starts 11 every Saturday. So we have a full schedule in place, right? Most people are still locked down. Stay close to the fire, keep taking action daily, and we'll see you all very soon. Thank you very much.
Bye, everyone. See you soon at a big event.
Bye.